Hello friend, this is my YouTube channel IT Pro. You can watch it for a strongly foundation of information technology and promises you to give you conceptual knowledge in computer. Keep watching for latest videos. Time to time I will come with the latest video in computer. Thank you.
Talk about what is called editing. Editing means I don't want to delete everything. So I want to remove the number 4 from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll take my mouse and I'll double click on it. Now when I double click, you see there is a line blinking in there, and look on the bottom, it says I'm in the edit mode. So because I'm editing, so it's not a big deal, it's just something that you need to know. Now you can use the arrows on the keyboard, the left and the right arrow, to move the cursor, or you can click with your mouse to wherever you want it to be. So now if I want, I can hit the backspace. Number 4 is removed, and I can use the check mark, and it's done. So that's one way of editing, is by double clicking on it. The other way is that you can click in the formula bar. So this is the formula bar here. I can click here between 3 and 5. See right there? And then I'm back into edit mode, and I can put the number 4 and I can hit enter, or I can use the check mark. So either way. Now if I wanted to add more, I can click at the end after 7 and I can put 8 and 9, and I can use the check mark. And you see what Excel did is automatically expanded this column. Usually in the previous version, I think in 2003, you used to see a pound symbol, like you used to get to this pound symbol, and then you would have to come here, look for that symbol, left click and hold it and drag it, or you just double click. So it will expand the column, it will expand the cell so that I can see my information. So that's about editing. Editing is either you double click on a cell, or you can use the formula bar. There is one more option which is used by people who spend a lot of time in Excel, which is by using the function keys, which are those F1, F2, F3, F4 keys right there on the top. So the edit option is used by the F2 button. So if you press F2, you'll find that I'm in the edit mode, and I can now move around with my arrows, and I can remove something, and I can hit enter on the keyboard. So this is the ways to edit, and you'll find you'll use one or the other. So you can either use double click, you can use the formula bar. So just make sure that you are in the cell that you want to change. Now let's talk about saving the file, because it's very important that you save your file just in case something happened to your computer. Your file is not lost. So I can click on the save button here, or I can click on the file button and then I can choose save. So either way you can do that. And when you hit it, you get to choose whether you want to save it to your computer. This is the SkyDrive, is Microsoft's cloud service, so that I can save my information on this computer and also on the internet, so that I can have access to it from anywhere in the world. So I'll click on computer and I'll click browse, because I want to save it exactly where I want it. Now if I want, I can create a new folder. So I already have a folder called Excel files, but if I wanted, I could just create a new folder, and I can call it Excel 2013, and I can double click on it, or click on it one time and then double click on this, because I want to save in it. So you have to make sure it saves up here, otherwise it will save it in the documents. And for the file name, I can call it Excel Part-1, or whatever you want to call it. Always give it a meaningful word so that when you look at the name of the file, you know what it is. And you can also save it as different types. What does that mean is, say if you were going to send this file to somebody who does not have the new version of Excel, then you can send it to them as Excel 2003-97 format, which nowadays you don't have to worry too much about. So I can hit save. Now the file is saved, and if you look on the top, it says Excel Part-1. So I know that the file has been saved. Now if you also later on, say I saved this as the 2013 format, and I worked on it, now I want to give it to somebody else, but that person does not have the new version, and I want to make sure that everybody can open my file. So then now I can come back to file, and I can choose save as. Save as means I want to save this existing file with a new file name or in a new location. So if I click save as, I can again choose computer and browse. Now I can say save this as Excel 1.1 because I cannot save it as the same file name in the same place. But I could create a new folder within this Excel and then give it the same names because it will be a different folder, so then I can give it the same name. So I'll do that. So I'll just create a new folder and I can call it Excel 2013 and I'll double click on it. So now we see within Excel 2013 there is another Excel 2013 which I should have named it something else, and now I can save it as Excel 97 2003 and then hit save. Now this file is saved. So I would rather put something in this file name that will tell me this is the old format so that it's easy to understand. I'll just hit cancel right now. So that's the difference between save and save as, because now if I keep hitting the save button, it will keep saving it as that file. When I want to save it as a different name, that's when I use the save as option. So that's the difference of save and save as. Okay. And now let's just look at closing and opening the file. So if I click here and I close this file, so you can open the files two ways. You can open from your desktop. You'll see come to this option for My Documents, and then you can go to the Documents folder, and then you can go to the Excel 2013 folder, and then there is your file. You can open it from here. Or you start Excel, and from the File button, you will usually see the last file you created listed here. If it wasn't the last few files listed here, you can go back to Computer, and then you can browse, and then you can double click on the Excel folder and then open the file. So that's the closing option. You can do it from here, and there's the open option. Even if you have one file open, you can keep on opening other files too. You can work on more than one file. You can also hit the closing button from this X here. I'm going to come to sheet 2 and I'm going to increase the zoom because it doesn't remember the zoom, and we'll do like a really simple calculation and I'll end this video and then we'll do more in the next one. So I'm just going to put 2, then I hit the tab key because I want to go next. 3 tab, 4 tab, 1 tab. So I'm going to introduce you to the basic idea of a formula. How do you do calculations in Excel, because that's what Excel is popular for. In this cell E1, I want to do a simple calculation. I want to add 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1, and I want to put the total here, which will be 10. So do a calculation in Excel, you have to start with an equal sign. And then you can do the calculation like this: 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1. Just remember, don't put any plus sign after this because there is nothing coming after this. And I'll use the check mark, and I get the result 10. Now this is the wrong way of doing things in Excel, because if say the number 1 changes to number 2, so I'm going to type 2 and I hit enter, but my total is still 10 because now I'll have to double click on my calculation, remove the 2, remove the 1, add the number 2, and now hit enter. So now my total is right. But that's the problem, because I don't want to keep redoing this. So I'm going to hit the delete button on the keyboard. In Excel, whenever you do a calculation, you do a calculation with what is known as a cell reference. So if this cell is A1, this is B1, this is C1, this is D1. So this is what is known as cell reference. We are referencing the cells. So I'm going to do the same calculation in E1 with the cell reference, which is the right way of doing things. So I'll put equal A1 plus sign B1 plus sign C1 plus sign D1. And you don't have to worry about whether you type it capital or not. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you don't put any plus sign after this because there are no more cells coming. And now if I use check mark, now I've got the result 10. Now if I change this 2 to 1 and I hit enter, you see the number changes. If I change this 3 to 3.5, the total changes back to 3. tab, it changes. So this is the benefit of Excel, because once you set up the formula, it will keep on changing as the numbers are changing. I'll show you an easier way of doing the calculation. I'm going to delete this and I'm going to start with the equal. Remember, equal sign is a very important thing when you're doing calculation, because that's the way Excel knows that it needs to do a calculation, that you're not trying to add a word or a number, you're actually wanting Excel to do a calculation. Now instead of typing A1, you can click on the cell A1 and then put the plus sign, B1 plus sign, C1 plus sign, D1, and then I can use the check mark, and there it is, the calculation is done. And you can do many different calculations, like there are different operations for the plus sign is this, that's the sign for plus. The minus sign is the minus. Divide sign is the slash, and the multiplication sign is the asterisk. So if you have a laptop or if you have a desktop, look on your keyboard. On the right hand side you will see a number pad where you have your numbers. In some laptops they don't have it, but in most laptops nowadays they do. So you see a number pad and you can see there is a slash on it. Next to the slash there is the multiplication. Next to the multiplication there is a minus, and below the minus there is the plus sign. So you can use these symbols to do the calculation. The slash is for division, the asterisk is for multiplication. And you can also use the number pad, it's easier. If you found that the number pad doesn't work, press the num lock button. The num lock button is to turn the number lock on. So you see, you might be seeing something on my screen. This is the lock option. In the desktop keyboard you see a light somewhere. When you press it, it turns on. So if that number lock is not on, you will not be able to use it. So I'll just click away, and you can practice also if I want. I can click your equal, and then I can click on a cell and I can put a divide sign, and I'll click on another cell. So I'm doing 4 divided by 3, but instead of typing 4 I'm pointing to the cell and I'll use check mark, so I get the answer. I can do equal 4 minus 3. I can do equal, click on a cell, multiply by another cell. And there it is. 4 3s are 12. And it doesn't matter if the number changes here, becomes 10. You see all the calculations change. This changed, this changed, this changed, this changed. Because they all are looking at these cells to find their calculation, because this F5 calculation is equal to C1 multiplied by B1, which is 10 multiplied by 3. So if I change this number back to 4 and I hit enter, everything else changes also.
Thank you. Thanks for watching my videos. And if you will like this video, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Thank you.